Hey everyone, welcome back to my garden. Today I am planting some corn, watering things, fertilizing, and airing out my frustrations. So I am currently at the raised bed where I used to have my garlic. After I pulled my garlic, I fertilized this area and have just been watering it only because there's nothing in it other than some random cosmos and weeds. So I decided that with the empty space, I'm going to plant some corn. I am gonna do, I don't know how to say it, but it's some blue corn. I wanna grow this corn so that I can teach myself to make tortillas at home. I'm obviously not gonna grow enough to be able to make tons of tortillas, but this will be enough to at least help me to learn. I don't want to waste this garden space, and I also want to learn a new skill, so that's what I'm gonna use this for. It has been hot as all get out. It is not a fun time in South Carolina. I am really struggling with the garden this year. Several of you follow me on Instagram and saw my recent stories talking about how frustrated I am with this soil this year. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I did everything that I did last year with my soil. I made sure to add layers of compost on top between the seasons. Last summer and last fall, everything was great. Everything grew so perfectly. It was my first year. It was just absolutely amazing the way things grew. It was completely unexpected for everything to be as good as it was. I had pollinators galore. Everything grew. Every seed I put down sprouted. It was just amazing. And so I decided that I was going to share my journey with you guys because it had gone so well that I thought, well, maybe somebody else needs the encouragement to see that you can be a beginner and still do great things in the garden. And I don't know what it is, but I just can't get things to grow right. And so I tested my soil, the soil that I put in my new raised beds. It just keeps coming back that nitrogen is the issue. And so I've already fertilized it a couple times since setting up the garden. And now I've gone through and done fish emulsion. I did that almost 2 weeks ago, and it did help a bit, but it's not helping enough. And so now I'm gonna do some fish and kelp emulsion after I finish planting these things. I do not like putting seeds down with gloves, but there are ants in this bed and I'm not trying to get bit up, so I'm having to put the seeds down with my gloves on, and it is frustrating. So I have all the corn seeds planted. I just put in fish and kelp emulsion into my jug here, and I'm going to pour it over each one of the seeds that I just planted just to give it that extra boost, considering nitrogen has been a major issue with all of my plants this year. There's a part of my brain that wants to give up and tell myself it's not worth the trouble, but the bigger part of my brain and my heart and my soul are telling me, keep pushing, keep going, figure this out, you'll get it right, it'll be worth it. I just want things to grow. Okay, so I had to move this to my front porch. I tried talking while working, but then my neighbor decided that she also wanted to hang out at the same time that I was outside, which was also the issue I had on Saturday when I tried recording. And the dogs were barking, and so I just figured I'll just share with you guys clips of all of the work I've been doing and just talk so that you guys could actually hear me. My struggle with the soil has been really frustrating, and because of all those struggles that I was having with the soil and the fact that I get really bad depression in the summertime, I just got to a place where I was trying to avoid the garden. And so on top of not good soil, I was having a neglected garden. And so things were not thriving the way that they could have possibly been. And so I got to a point after lots of prayer and lots of crying where I realized that me avoiding the garden was only going to make things worse, and that I needed to make a change somewhere, somehow. So I needed to figure out a way to get myself out in the garden. Going out in the afternoon is just impossible, especially through this heat wave where the temperatures are exceeding 110 degrees a day. In the evenings, it's not any better because it's so humid here that even at night, we're at like 70% humidity, plus all of the bugs that want to eat you alive. So the only solution for that is for me to get out in the garden early. And I am not an early bird, but I forced myself to get up every day at 6:30 and get myself out in the garden, regardless of how I felt. I also want to encourage any of you that are also joining in on this mission to grow your own food and become self-sustainable, that even when it gets really hard like this and when it seems like everything is just against you, in making this happen, to keep going, to keep pushing, to make yourself get up even when you don't want to get up, to make yourself go out into that garden even when you don't want to. Because while there are so many days where it's super easy and it is just the best thing and it's so relaxing to get out there, there's also going to be a ton of days where it's too hot, you're too exhausted, you're so frustrated with obstacle after obstacle, and it's okay. It's okay to have those frustrations, and it's okay to have a cry here and there about it, because I have had many. But keep going. Don't simply cry and then just sit around and hope that somehow you sitting inside is going to make something out there happen all on its own, because it's not. Keep pushing, guys. It's not that easy. I wish that I could tell you guys that this is a really simple life, that it's really easy to get these things done, but it's not. That would be completely dishonest of me, but it's so worth it. I can't believe I just decapitated a pepper plant. It still has 2 branches on it, but I still have 2 guajillo plants. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. Everything about it is worth it, because when you finally do get that harvest, after you've worked hard with these failures after failures, it just makes things not only taste so much better because you've put so much work into it, but it makes the value of it that much greater. So maybe I'm not going to get every plant that I had hoped and planned on getting, and maybe I'm not going to get my harvest when I wanted to get it, and maybe I'm not going to get the size harvest that I wanted to get, but I am going to get something. And no matter what, a lesson is going to be learned, and that means that the next gardening season is going to be so much better than the first one. And this is going to happen for the rest of my life. But for the rest of my life, I'm going to keep trying, because I know it's only going to get better. This video's probably been all over the place. I've been recording it for over a week, just like bits and pieces here and there, but I want to share it with you guys because I know there are so many other channels and so many videos out there where it just seems like people's gardens are perfect and everything is so easy and it just comes so naturally to them. That's not the way gardening works. It's not that simple and it's not that natural. You have to push and learn and teach yourself how to do all of the things that these people know how to do. It's just not going to be that way for everyone. So keep pushing. If you're struggling like I am, just keep going. And I know that we're going to get to see the harvest that we want to see, whether that's this season or the next one. It's going to happen eventually. So thank you guys for hanging out with me over the last week in all this jumbled up mess of a video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments things that you're struggling with, things that have helped you overcome the struggle, words of encouragement that you could share with me or with anybody else that's watching this video or reading through these comments that are struggling with all these things that maybe you once struggled through, just to help us get through. If you haven't already, I hope that you're willing to hit that subscribe button and stick around with me on my journey to becoming a homesteader. Maybe it's not looking so great right now, but I know deep down in my gut that this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing and that this is going to get better. Thanks again for sticking around. I'll see you in the next one.